How's the pressure so far?
Good.
Splaying the toes. So massaging these lovely oils that smell just glorious. And the Roman chamomile essential oil. And 2 fingers each side of the spine. This will help towards a good night's sleep tonight. Lovely Rosie, let me give you a hug. Oh, beautiful lady. You're back. You've been on video before.
Yeah, but I was nice and brown then.
Oh, yes. Oh, and you're lovely, rosy cheeked. So we're going to do some kinesiology to see which oils are best for you today. And you've recompleted your form for me, so I know which oils to suggest. And then we're going to check out with kinesiology what your body wants.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm thinking
Lavender.
we can do. Just been using some lavender. You can probably smell it in here.
Yes, I can.
So lavender, good for relaxing. It's analgesic. It's good for sleep, skin, and stress. And so much more. So I'm also thinking digestive. So
Yes, because I've just eaten, literally.
okay. And how's tummy feeling?
That's fine. It's good today. It goes through its stages, as you know, of being awful. And then it kind of just goes away.
How are stress levels, Rosie?
Well, if you knew what I'd done today, you'd probably understand they're quite high. And here I am at 7:15 on the dot.
Gosh.
So I expect everything's fairly
Okay.
a bit
A bit
high. I need to.
heightened. You will be. You will
Oh,
be.
I'm intending to be asleep, hence the jammy jams.
No. We're doing 4 then,
Okay.
based on your smell test.
Okay.
So we've got 2 middle notes, which are lavender and Roman chamomile.
Yep.
And 2 base notes, which are rose and ylang ylang.
Okay.
Nice mix.
Love the smell of that rose.
Yeah, it does smell beautiful. If only you could relay a smell through the video. Okay, so warmed oil now going on. Sorry if my hand feels a little chilly.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So 3 nice long breaths. So if at any time you need to move around or get comfy, you just go ahead. If you want to take yourself somewhere absolutely glorious while you're following the massage, and just cast your mind away from any lists and worries, any stresses, just find yourself somewhere utterly beautiful. How's the pressure so far?
Good.
So Rosie, I might be explaining to the viewers what I'm doing occasionally, but it doesn't mean you need to reply or interact unless you want to be, but you can just drift off into your own world.
Give them a laugh at some stage.
So starting off with a long effleurage in order to introduce the carrier oil and those beautiful 4 essential oils into the body via the skin and then to the blood circulation system, and therefore carried all over the body to start sending messages, healing, and doing what they are individually good for. So we've got lavender that is analgesic, it's antispasmodic, so it really helps soften any muscle spasm and pain. It's also really good carminative oil, which helps to relieve any mental, emotional stresses. And then we have rose, a base note oil, which is one of the more expensive oils because it takes so many heads of rose in order to distill each drop of rose essential oil. And rose is really good for balancing the hormonal system. It's good for helping with grief and grieving. It's really good for women's issues of reproductive balance and those other endocrine messages that need to be sent through the body in women's bodies. It's one of those oils that is just so nurturing. It feels like a hug. And then we have ylang ylang. So ylang ylang again is a base note. It's an exotic flower grown in the east. Beautiful scent, lovely yellow pointed petals. And it is used in a lot of cosmetics, perfumes. So it's a familiar scent, and yet not one that we'd be able to know on its own, isolated. Its qualities are for helping balance skin tone, especially with younger skin that might be producing acne and spots. It's also good to help insomnia, to bring sleep and de-stress. It's also good for tachycardia, which is increased heart rate. And then we have Roman chamomile. And we also have at the moment some church bells. And beautiful church bell practice happens in the village one evening a week, and it's always lovely to hear them in their happy rhythm. They always sound so happy. Yeah, so the 4th oil we're using as an essential oil today is Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile is a middle note, and it's a beautiful scent, one that actually reminds me sometimes of something like brandy, like it's an alcohol that smells quite strong, but in a lovely musky scent. And Roman chamomile particularly good for any irritation and inflammation. I normally use it with skin irritations, so for instance eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis. It's just so healing, and it normally has quite an immediate effect as well. That's what I love about it. It works straight away. So I've got my finger here, my little finger just on the side of the spine, running down that line, which is a natural gully down each side of the spine, and that little channel there should be free of any impingement. And so it's my way of just checking that there's no subluxation in the discs or any muscle spasm from the erector spinae muscle that runs to the left of where I am. And it's also my way of just making sure that the blood circulation does come through nice and speedily in order to create that rosiness, as there should be when you're massaging someone called Rosie.
Oh.
So, as is normally the case, the lovely redness here has been stimulated in the upper part of the body, obviously nearer to the heart, which is more likely to happen. A little bit pale at the top, so I will be giving the trapezius and the shoulder tops some attention. But this area here is also quite pale, so I know that this is the area I also need to be giving some attention. It's quite telling when you do a massage and you see where the skin can go rosy and where it's more difficult to bring the circulation in. So that's an area that is definitely asking for a little bit more help. And massaging down the top corner of the trapezius to the point, down, round up the middle again, in a beautiful circular fashion, including the deltoid, over the back of the tricep. And then scoring a line around the scapula, being quite firm, coming up to the bottom of the tip of the angel wing, up inside, over to the point, pushing down and round again. Again, hoping for some beautiful rosiness here. Just starting. And then holding that tip, almost pushing it up in order to find some space underneath it, and then knuckling on top. Does that feel all right, Rosie?
Yeah, I've had a bit of tension there. I've had a bit of a issue with it.
Is it too much?
No, it's fine. It's just fine.
Well, hopefully this will ease it off a little bit then.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, that's a bit sore.
Yeah.
Where you were saying on my lower spine, you can see I had a back operation here somewhere here.
Yeah, I can see this scar.
Yeah, it's only tiny.
Actually, I can feel it as well.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a disc there anymore. That was about 10 years ago, I think.
Okay. Did you have a discectomy?
I think so.
Yeah. So they shaved off the prolapse.
I know it was really, I've never known pain like it apart from when we all had babies, but it was really, really, really bad, and it was an emergency op. And
Really?
yeah, when it was done, when I came round, the pain had gone. It was amazing.
I've had the same operation.
Have you? Aha.
In 2009, so...
And was yours down there?
Yeah, same place. So I imagine yours was in the most common place that people have a discectomy, which is the last disc, which is between L5 and S1.
Right.
And a prolapse is basically the disc which is between the vertebra, and the disc was described to me as like a donut which has jam in the middle, and it can squeeze out some of that fluid from the centre, and when it squeezes it out it presses on the sciatic nerve and causes intense pain, down one or other leg. And the further down the leg the worse the pain.
That's absolutely right.
To the point that you can't put the foot down. So I was like that. Eventually I was actually in a wheelchair, and I couldn't drive even.
No, I couldn't.
I couldn't put my right foot down, so I couldn't put it on the accelerator. And I couldn't work or anything, so I had the operation quite quickly, and like you, I came round and I was in no pain at all.
It's a brilliant operation.
It was a miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone needs to have an operation for this kind of issue, but I think you and I, it came quickly. I think it accelerated quickly, and it needed to be dealt with quickly.
Yeah. And it is the most painful, awful. You can't walk, you can't sit, you can't lie, you can't do anything.
It's awful. Yeah.
Where did you have it done?
Well, I lived in Northamptonshire then, so not locally.
General.
Sorry? No, I had it done at a private hospital. We're very lucky we had private cover at the time.
Yeah. And how long did they keep you in?
Oh, I don't know, 2 or 3 nights, that's all.
Yeah.
I was up walking the next day.
Yes, I was too. I had mine done in Switzerland. They kept me in for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Which was a bit like again, lucky, very lucky to have gone privately.
I couldn't have waited. If
No.
I'd have had to have waited a year or something, I couldn't have done it.
No.
I mean, what happens, because I see it in other people, is if they do have to wait for an operation, because they can't operate their normal life, their body goes into atrophy and they start losing muscle power. And so normally one side of their body, and so they become quite muscly on one side because it's doing all the work, and then atrophy on the other side.
I was completely bent to one side.
Were you?
And the best thing was after it, standing in front of a mirror and seeing myself straight again. Yeah.
And then you had to work on physio to build up the muscle again.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Did it? So how long were you suffering before the operation?
I had the operation in August. I think it had gone wrong. It had started to go wrong in the autumn the year before. Then it went right, and I had a couple of MRIs, and it was kind of all right. But then, I don't know, probably May, June, it got really bad. And, to the point of the pills were making me ill, and I was in a terrible state. And we were in England, and then we went back to Switzerland. I actually drove us back. I don't know how the heck I did it, but I did. And I had a scan the next day, and I was called in as an emergency. And that was on the Friday night, had it done, first one on Monday morning. So, it was, it was something.
What a miracle, hey?
What a miracle. The worst bit was trying to understand what bedpan was in French.
So this area here is bulking up a little bit, Rosie.
I know.
I can't remember this being like this when I last treated you. So you just got to be careful of this area. It's normally caused, I call it a text neck. It's normally caused by looking down at that angle to a phone or computer. So just be careful that this isn't going to get any worse. You wouldn't want
I am aware of it.
You wouldn't want it consolidating. So obviously massage helps, but also preventing it by not doing the thing that's causing it. Now, what I say to people, if you can remember to get into a new habit of putting your elbow into your ribs when you're looking at your phone.
Hang on, putting your elbow into your ribs.
Yeah, and therefore it holds your phone more in front of your eyes rather than down at stomach level, and therefore you're looking down your body. You're holding the phone basically in front of you, but you're supporting your arm by putting your elbow into your ribs.
Okay.
Yeah. Or some other action that will help you not to look down at your phone. Like sit down to look at your phone and have it on a phone holder on the table in front of you.
Gosh, yeah.
You know, because otherwise this is going to be a problem here.
What's going to happen?
This is going to get more and more bulky, and
Right.
then it will become quite solid and start shooting pain up into your head, and then it gives headaches and sleep problems and all sorts of head congestion. So, you know, it's not too bad at the moment, but I wouldn't want it getting any worse.
I have noticed it over about the last 15 years that it's kind of, you know, just sort of lumpy.
Yeah.
And I do get quite a lot of problems with my neck, and I'm sure it's all from that. It's part of growing old as well, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it hasn't helped.
Yeah. But I see it in youngsters as well.
Oh, do you?
This neck, yeah.
It's horrible, I think.
Yeah.
I see it when I, you know, with my clothes and everything. I'm quite sort of.
Well, you can still do something about it, you know. So regular massages in order to break this area up, and preventing it in the first place. You'll be fine. So massaging around the beautiful hips, up over the iliac crests, round the front, nice and firm, getting rid of any congestion and any tightness and spasm from around the hips to the waist. It's a nice feeling, just splitting the hands, coming all the way down to the couch. Over the obliques. Coming up one side of the body, up and over the shoulder, bringing the arm down, stretching that trapezius side, lengthening the shoulder down, and then circles, always warming, getting rid of any spasm, any cool areas, warming them up. Double-handed approach. And then scissoring over the ribs. nice and rosy now, that's good. Agitating any impurities, toxins, calling them out. And then a line of fingers to encourage them over between the ribs, out to the sides, where there are plenty of lymph nodes waiting to eat them up. Take them into the waist system. And continuing that action the other side, this time over to the armpit lymph node. And then lovely knuckling to the sacrum, the flat plate of the bone at the very bottom of the spine, well, just above the coccyx. So nice flat knuckles, symmetrically in circles, anchoring with thumbs round. Now this can feel a little sensitive to some people. And then over the muscle tissue of the glute maximum, the glute medius, back to the sacrum, enlarging rainbow circles around, creating warmth, creating a good balance of the energies from the top of the back all the way down the spine to the bottom. And then lovely raising the energy from the sacrum out to the sides, working on the lymph system. And then softening. And slowing. Stronger first. And softening. And slowing. Down the arms. Strong palms. And separating all the way along on top of the spine, up the neck. Beautiful oil. It smells divine. Nice strong hands coming up the back of the leg, anchoring the leg to the couch, encouraging the muscles of the calf and the hamstrings to let go, to submit their weight to the support of the couch, bending at the knee, just raising in order not to cramp up the knee, and then supporting the back of the leg while encouraging sends back down to the popliteal lymph node. And you can see how the tendons are pulling the toes to stretch them. And any of us who stand on our legs a lot will have quite tense, solid calves. So they need clearing, stretching out, encouragement to let go. And then checking the Achilles, swinging it side to side, reassuring, and then coming up with flat fingers up the back of the leg. The gastrocnemius muscle and the soleus gently over the popliteal, and then strong again over the hamstrings. Up and then anchoring under the hip bone, around the side of the hip. Gently down, supporting and off. Strongly up the back of the leg, looking for any issues, solidity, any cool or hot spots, any parts of muscle that's in spasm. And coming up strongly over the back of the leg, bending at the knee, and strongly down to the knee. Lovely. This can feel a little sore in those of us that are on our legs a lot. Squeezing, flattening out, encouraging that upward movement, and down, checking the Achilles, and then clearing upwards strongly with 3 finger stroking. Getting into that V of the gastrocnemius, clearing any toxins upwards. Gently over the knee, and continuing up with flat fingers all the way to the hip bone. So strongly up the front of the shin, locating the tibia and fibula, tracing a line around the edge and slightly underneath both bones. Pushing fairly firmly over the top, again to anchor the leg into the couch, reassure that the muscle can let go, giving it a good stretch. Coming up, and then round that beautiful knee. Scoring a line again around the edge and slightly under the patella bone, finding that lovely muscle underneath, massaging over the top of that muscle, which does such a lot of work for us. And then isolating the patella left to right and up and down, looking for any creaks and clicks, getting rid. That's better. It's gone nice and rosy. So now clearing any impurities that have been agitated away from the front of the knee, down the side to the popliteal at the back. Same the other side. And then firmly up the inside, over the top of the quadricep. Tracing a line along the sartorius to the hip point, and then strongly up the side. This is the tensor fasciae lata that can feel a bit sore. Anchoring around that hip, all the way down to the ankle. Securing the back of the leg and then turning the foot and the other way around the ankle. And then thumbs in between each metatarsal to clear, and always checking, seeing what's there that needs to be agitated and moved away. And any impurities that stay there will only create problems. They need to go. There's a little click there. That's gone. And then up into each toe, turning, massaging. And a stretch and a flick. And sometimes toes can bend. We want to, with massage, to stretch them out, to remind them to lengthen and relax. And a stretch. Lovely. And then up under the foot. Massaging into the sole, the pad, splaying the toes, widening, creating space and softness. Tracing a line up the spine, reflex points, stretching the spine to the head, over the solar plexus, and then knuckling. Secure and hold. And a stretch strongly over those bones, warming the area. And then under the shin bones of the tibia and fibula, clearing upwards towards the heart. Quite strong. And then over the lovely knee. moving the knees side to side, up and down, making sure it's free. That's good. No clicks on this knee, and then down inside, shifting over the top, down the other side, stimulating the lymph node behind, and then up and over the inside towards the hip point. Strongly at the outside. It feels so good to receive. Around the hip point, side of the pelvis, and down, back to the ankle. Yeah, good rotation. Now around the ankle. A lovely heel, oiling any dry skin, introducing some massage to soften, remove any spasm, especially to the soft tissue of the instep, helping to prevent any plantar fasciitis or other foot issue. And then up under the pad of the foot, clearing for the lungs here, for the reflex point, and the scapula, the right scapula in this case, and then the neck. Around the neck of the toe is the neck of the head, quite tight round the right side towards the back. Lengthening and then circling the toe. That's good. Stretching and a flick. Bringing in some warmth to the shin. And to the foot. Nice and warm. So these beautiful essential oils, especially the rose and lavender, will help calm and balance the endocrine system around this wonderful area of the torso that receives so many messages from the endocrine system. For instance, into the adrenal glands with adrenaline, and down to the reproductive system, hormonal system. So important, our endocrine system, for our homeostasis, the way we operate, our health and well-being. So massaging these lovely oils that smell just glorious into the abdomen, softening the muscles, just having a feel of the organs, feeling under the ribs, under the hip bone, gently over the lower abdomen, under the hip bone again, and the rib where the liver is, up and around. Just effleurage at first. And then picking up the tissue from the side, like an extra back massage to the side and obliques. Coming up. And then circling with two hands, smaller circles inside a larger circle, always in the correct direction for the colon. And the Roman chamomile essential oil will also help calm the digestive system. It helps to relax any muscle spasm that might be stopping the digestive system working effectively. Gently over the base, and then firmly up the colon, over the transverse colon. And down the descending. The wind's picking up outside. And then beautiful freeing action, which is so lovely for the solar plexus, the anxiety point, for our chi, just slowing the pace of life down. Coming back to that effleurage around. It's just feeling into the stomach and the liver, to the anxiety point, to the kidneys, adrenals, to Ren, the Chinese meridian, and to Houston valve and the iliosacral valve. Beautifully calm. You're in a good place, Rosie.
Ah.
Good application of oil and then a nice stretch. Right then, and secured to the shoulder and the upper arm at right angles to the couch, allowing for gravity to help me remove those impurities from the elbow down to the shoulder, to the armpit and out. Nice and strong up the tricep, around the deltoid, stretching, and then down the forearm. Two strong flat thumb pads down, curling the fingers as the tendons stretch. Lovely. Stimulating the lymph node and then stretch and around the wristbands. Widening the hands, thumbs in between the metacarpals, always upwards. This will make them feel freer, looser, less constrained. And then circling each digit and a stretch. Beautiful rings. And into the palm. Little fingers widening, the thumb and little finger, and then overlapping thumbs down the solar plexus of the palm. Beautiful yellow light energy, sunshine and daffodils. Just realised my heated couch isn't on. Would you like it on, Rosie?
The what, sorry?
The heated couch.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. If you get too hot, let me know.
Yeah.
And securing around that lovely elbow. Down the upper arm. Tricep and bicep to the deltoid and into that lymph node. Lovely. And then the forearm is beautifully oiled, so it helps me to clear those impurities and any congestion from the inside of the arm, always down to the lymph node, everything towards the heart. Between the metacarpals upwards, and then each finger around, massage, stretch, and a flick. Clearing the solar plexus. turning the head in order to massage right shoulder and the shoulder length from the neck, pushing the shoulder down, warming the deltoid, knuckling around the outside edge of the deltoid, pushing the shoulder down and then across the top of that trapezius line, bringing the trapezius forward, bending, stretching it. And then down the neck, scoring a line down the edge of that muscle that doesn't affect the throat, and then knuckling again in that corner between shoulder and neck, bringing trapezius forward, finding the odd click and crunch, a little tightness. Over the bra strap line, bringing it forward towards the cervical lymph. And then massaging it into the neck. Softening, reassuring, encouraging that very strong muscle to let go. And then into the base of the occiput. Massaging around that line of the occiput bone, trying to create some space and lightness where there is some tension. This is the sort of tension that can stop us sleeping, because the neck and the way the neck is supporting the head is just too tight. This will help towards a good night's sleep tonight. Lengthening the shoulder distance and bringing the head around for a good stretch before turning the other way. Deltoid, warming up that muscle, pushing down, around and back. And around with a knuckle. Instilling some softness, reassuring those very strong muscles that they can relax, they can let go, they can relieve any tension, any stress contained in the shoulders. Removing any knots and tightness. muscle forward. Up the neck, and then scoring a line at the edge of the throat, just onto the muscle. Not only using the thumb, but also the thenar muscle and the base of the thumb, saddle joint. Reassuring. And then into that occiput line. This time to the left side. So beautifully relaxing and soothing. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
And stretching round and back. Pushing the clavicle down. Supporting the head, raising the head away from the pillow. And 2 fingers each side of the spine, raising that length of vertebrae up, bringing the head forward, taking the weight, supporting and bringing it back into a divine neck release. Letting it go, letting it go. And lengthen. Repeating. Coming up. Overlapping hands. Beautifully warm. And back down. Is it okay to do a little scalp massage, Rosie?
Mm.
effleuraged and petrissage. Now just some gentle hair pulling. And turning the head. This helps stimulate blood to the scalp, helping brain function, endocrine function, all the glandular system, but also the hair itself, improving the health and vitality, the volume of the hair. To the other side. Some smoothing. And then some acupressure points. And softly smoothing the hair, stimulating the scalp in a very light manner. Before some raindrops, gentle tapping to the ears, the scalp. All different ways of stimulating blood flow and the energetics. And some pressing. And a clamp, bringing the head up one side to stretch, and the other side. Down from the front and up at the back. Before finishing with some effleurages from the décolleté and off the hair. Each one getting gently softer and softer. Keeping your eyes closed, take a nice long breath. Continue with the deep breathing, letting the breath circulate through your whole body, infusing through every cell, penetrating deep down to toes and fingers and up to around the head. Feeling the breath arrive like a vibration, a beautiful resonance of energy. And gently introducing a little movement to fingers and toes. Maybe turning into wrists and ankles. And if you feel like it, bringing your arms up over your head for a whole body stretch. Oh, you look sleepy.
Wonderful.
Oh, good. Glad you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you, Dawn.
Oh, pleasure, my lovely.
Whoa.